OG from being able to push in, and then Alliance could take it. But for me, I really feel like OG have won the draft.
Feels quite heavily reliant on Bulldog's Brood as well. Because with the Clinks out there, it's always been one of these heroes that, you know, we saw Fear do it at ESL Frankfurt, 7-minute roaming Clinks and move on to other lanes. But it's similar to what Storm used to do, where the threat of the Clinks when he's off the map is sometimes greater than him actually running into you and finding damage and forcing you away. If you were grouping up as OG after shutting down the Broodmother, you know, not really being worried too much about that, then the Clinks is not going to be able to find those, you know, solo pickoffs, hide in the jungle. He's going to be crowded out by a bunch of OG heroes. But if Broodmother gets a good start, and OG have to try and deal with the Brood in the later stages, sort of 15, 20 minutes in, you've got to try and stop that Brood pushing into like tier 3s and racks, that's when the Clinks really does start to run rampant.
What do you think laning-wise? What's going to be the most optimal for Alliance? Because I'm looking at this, OG, it feels to me pretty obvious that they want to be able to match the Darkseer against the Broodmother, most likely, because that's such a favorable matchup. One of the few heroes that can beat that Brood in a 1v1, and they've got a really good aggro lane. How does Alliance juke that around? Do they do some sort of dual lanes?
I think so. We always used to see Clinks against Darkseer. You know, Funnick was famous for it. The Clinks kind of 1v1 Darkseer after level 3. So I think Tusk Clinks initially as that duo up at top, something like that. And they have maybe a Broodmother Jakiro lane, and they just spam Liquid Fire, or we're seeing a lot more Dual Breath level 1 actually, out onto the Undying and Winter Wyvern, because he can trade hits so efficiently with his high armor, pretty high armor.
So play the Jakiro kind of like you would see Lich almost play when it comes to the Broodmother lane, just trying to create a little bit space for the Broodmother in those first couple levels that are usually pretty rough for a Brood, and
then roam mid. Roam mid onto Miracle.
Yeah, well, you know, we'll see if that Jakiro actually is able to have successful roaming pressure, because that's the big downside of the Jakiro, right? Not a very good ganking hero, as the Ice Bath, which is usually not prioritized first, is your best ganking ability, and it's just not that great. Long range, but not very long duration. So we'll see how things end up here as we're finally getting into our game between OG and Alliance. We're going to start off with Admiral Bulldog heading to the bottom lane. OG, sure enough, are going their aggro lane. Winter Wyvern, Undying, and the Gyrocopter should be heading up the top, and then you've got Miracle's Invoker mid, obviously.
What's that Invoker, Kate?
Yeah, I was looking at that too. What?
God of the Sinister Lightning. Well, there's some easy gold for Miracle.
Yeah. For a second there, I thought I made a face, but it's just pretty cool.
So if Miracle gets Bounty Rune as well here, he's going to have a great start.
Miracle looks like an OG.
30 seconds to battle.
Rocking that cape. All he needs is a staff.
I thought you were going to say something like a gold chain.
Chalice. That's what real OGs would be rocking. Looks like Alliance are going to be battling it out for the rune. Obviously, OG, pretty standard that Dire side don't try and contest the top rune because it's so dangerous against these cliff areas. It's just like you start setting up for the rune, all of a sudden the whole entire enemy team could just swarm down the cliff area. So Lotus actually going to go for the steal, and he got it. Oh, Miracle's going to be hurt by that one as S4 got the bottom bounty rune. So a great start for Alliance, already ahead in the game.
Sneaky devil, Loda.
And that's really impressive that he was able to pull that off without
attacking and revealing.
Yeah. I wonder how he did that. Did he just right-click and stop spam at the same time until he picked up the bounty rune? Yeah.
Because that's the thing. Sometimes you want to show yourself so that you create another target there that they can click on, but he goes for the sneakier play. So is that a bottle? That's S4 full bottle rush, actually. Pull Tango's one branch and straight into it. That's pretty quick. So aggro trial in from OG, Gyro, Undying, and Winter Wyvern.
Yeah, how do you even contest this?
So Alliance actually do have to move up all three heroes there, and OG get the matchup they want down in bottom lane, Darkseer against Brood.
Clinks is already left to 400 HP after 1 decay. Like, how do you actually fight this? If Alliance managed to pull back the lane, and then something that's very important for the Dire side is that they not only got themselves a pretty good laning award, but they also blocked out their own hard camp to make sure there was no pulling opportunities for OG. Because of that, the lane is going to push forward, but if OG ever managed to make it bounce off back off the tower and pull it back, I'm not sure how Alliance ever move forward and contest. How's that middle lane going? 6 and 4 so far on the Bat Rider. An early start thanks to all that sticky napalm spam. And of course, Miracle. When you go this Quas build, and you go for the early level of Cold Snap, you just do not have very much damage.
I had to go for the magic stick as well. Magic wand even. Over the null talisman, so
Right.
even less damage. Just to try and deal with a napalm spam. But at least once he gets to that point in Wex, he's got the Ghost Walk, so killing potential for S4 is going to be limited.
Now, fortunately, at the bottom lane, we do have this matchup where the Darkseer will do well as he's matched up against the Broodmother. That's not terribly surprising. But what is good about this is that the Broodmother's dire side, you're able to take advantage of the Radiant Jungle. So as you get to like level 5, have the Soul Ring, and you see a lot of Spiderlings coming to the table, he's not going to keep them in lane. He's going to throw them into the jungle. So Broodmother will still be able to get a lot of farm. They're playing pretty passive here in that top lane. That's because the Tusk is heading into middle. See if he can gank up Miracle. They're actually going to go for the kill now. The Snowball comes in, but they don't have the vision to reveal. Miracle may still die, though. He's underneath the flame break. Almost ends up going down there. As dangerously, he was standing on top of that fire.
17 stick charges and a salve as well, though, so he'll be back into that lane straight away. And S4 running out of bottle charges. The rotation from Tusk, sure, it pressures Miracle, but it doesn't break the lane or give S4 a massive advantage at all.
No, certainly not. Miracle's going to be looking good now as S4 is unlikely to be able to continue any kind of aggression. You can see Miracle's actually the one now pushing back against S4. Gets cold snap out. Miracle is going to be stacking up a lot of that napalm, but S4 is probably not going to be feeling confident going forward and actually using that 5 stacks. Meanwhile, Broodmother starts cutting out the lane, as Broodmothers are wont to do as soon as you get that Soul Ring.
Now it's just trading farm, really. Moon can't pressure the Broodmother into a situation where she dies or loses Spiderlings, and like you said, jungle, when she hits that sort of level 5, level 6 point, all becomes hers. It's kind of fun, though, watching up at top lane where the lane is actually meeting. Radiant Creep Wave goes to tier 1, Dire Creep Wave is getting dragged constantly.
Oh god, S4 managed to pick up the first blood against Miracle. It does go down in the process as Miracle actually does pick up the kill thanks to his cold snap in play. But the first blood going to S4, especially since he was in that kind of awkward position where he had the bottle down and Miracle was actually able to take a little control. That is a pretty favorable trade-off, I would say, for S4.
Arcane fly at the top rune spot. Jakiro gets there first, though. And Nuts with the bottle actually going to refill it as well. Oh, that's S4's bottle.
Winter Wyvern.
Where are you going?
I'm not sure what's happening here. They're going to snowball into the Winter Wyvern, of course. There's the Arctic Burn to be able to get away.
S4's chasing this.
Yeah, he's going for it. Tornado's going to stall him up a little bit more, but there is still the Flame Break to be thrown out. Bounces back the Winter Wyvern. If you could just get a right click in, this Winter Wyvern will definitely be going down. And good pickup by Alliance.
And now you look at S4 with 2 kills, being able to spend his gold before his death as well. All they need is a few jungle stacks here. You know, we don't see Bat Rider go into the jungle and just get that huge burst of 1,500 whatever gold to get into the blink. It's usually a couple of stacks, go in, go back to lane, then back again for another couple of stacks. And you finish it by sort of, 10, 11 minutes from the mid. We've seen faster blink dags from S4 when he's completely crushed his lane and gone like 4-0 though. But he'll, thanks to my nuts and his illusions, be able to take down a couple of camps here.
Soul Ring. Now about to be complete for Loda. He'll purchase it from the side shop. So now all he needs is level 6, and he can actually lead this lane and go just full-time jungle. He'll probably have a safer time there.
So with this Gyrocopter up at top, he's going to get a slower level 6 than we kind of expect from Gyros. He's now been left alone to try and get into that point, but Loda, he's looking pretty good for this lane. Almost matching the Gyro in farm. The Clinks hits this point where he's going to have Soul Ring, Treads, and his Death Pact as well to get that extra bit of HP and damage output.
Nuts is actually going to snowball to dodge a lot of that damage out from the EMP, but there's still going to be the Cold Snap as well as the Arctic Burn, keeping him in place, and Nuts will go down. So the 3-man rotation there into the jungle, putting that ward to scout out the Clinks.
They want to kill
they're looking
Darkseer
for stacks, but Darkseer kind of getting surrounded, does get a couple of Broodling kills, but now S4 shows himself, is able to get that lasso right as the Surge goes out. Still, though, Moon is able to get enough distance thanks to it being a level 2 Surge. Will be able to stay away from S4. Meanwhile, top lane, looks like Loda was just challenging the gyro a little bit. Has his level 6 coming in quite soon. Moon, perhaps getting a little over-aggressive, may not realize it as Nuts is going to show himself. Does get the ice shards off. They get a bit more damage. Brood only just now getting the soul ring, but even that nuke wouldn't have been enough to get the Darkseer kill.
Moon holding onto a salve can just return straight back into lane as well. But yeah, the Clinks is now hitting this point where he can out DPS the gyrocopter. Definitely put a lot of pressure onto the Undying. Like, no tails.
Oh no, Batrider ends up going down. Miracle with the phase boots ends up picking up the kill. Looks like Nuts was going to try and rotate in. I was expecting a fight at top lane, but no such luck.
But without a stun up here, without an opener from OG, they can't really pressure into the Clinks and find a kill. They need that level 6 from Gyro and a Dust, but neither of them are things they have. I think Loda's just pretty content to farm up here.
They've got the Dust, too, on the Tusk. So if the Tusk had perhaps rotated in a little bit sooner, maybe the kill could have gone the other way around.
Onto the Invoker.
Yeah, but Miracle's in a great position now. 3,200 net worth. Top lane, they're going to try and go on Loda here, but seems like they know exactly what was about to happen. Loda backs up right as that ultimate is thrown out.
That's the thing, without an opening, you know, without a stun or a slow or something, you're not catching that Clinks.
Yeah. Moon still top the net worth board because he hasn't died yet, despite the rotation of S4 earlier. 3,500 gold, thanks in part to the free farm that he's getting with the Broodmother constantly cutting the creep wave. But also, we've seen a large number of Spiderlings have gone his way as well. As you can see, pretty much reflected in the CS, 70 CS by 8.5 minutes. Not really possible without Broodlings. And you can see what Moon does here now. He's going to throw the... oh, he doesn't actually. Usually the Ion Shell is thrown onto one of the Spiderlings, so it's hard for the Broodmother to disengage. And has to find the right Spiderling to throw out. Usually you get a couple of, at least a couple of kills.
Oh, they're hunting S4.
They really are, but S4's kind of spotted them out. Loda's going to make his way over, but there's nothing really to be had here. Feels like Alliance are just falling behind rapidly, and now they're going to be caught. S4 is going to be hit by the Gyrocopter ultimate not once, but twice, and will be going down because of that. They're going to turn on to Ake now, slowed down by the Arctic Burn. No Tail willing to make that commitment here. Juke into the trees. Ake trying to hide himself, does get out some damage with the take. Finish them off now. Fly. Oh, bounce back, but it looks like Loda will go for the kill. They've got enough damage too. The turnaround, No Tail underneath that tower. But, oh, Jesus, he's got to actually kill himself. Oh, Loda gets himself alive, just barely getting into the trees, but no. No Tail gets the right click out, and now OG looking at Nuts. Nuts is scared though. Ice Shards goes out, but he's got no extra help. Big downside of running this Broodmother. Don't have that rotating hero.
Devastating for Alliance. S4 just wanted to farm calmly in the jungle to get towards his blink. But Loda coming back in, uses Invis kind of late to run in, you know, 1,000 range or something, then it's still on cooldown after he kills the Undying. Leaving him so open.
Right.
For the Gyro just to walk into him. Looking back to the Invoker though, it's not going to be the Orchid Rush. We saw this from him the other day. It's the very, very old school Wex build on Invoker. The drums into Yules. He just goes for max move speed.
Yeah, he just, I thought, you know, maybe there was a chance with this game that he would go for the Orchid build, but he seems very set on the phase drums. And I guess if it's working out for you, why change it? Loda?
Does he know Loda's here?
Maybe caught. Maybe he's looking at rotating to the bottom lane, but it is very likely that Loda is going to be... Oh, the vacuum back in. Doesn't quite hit him with the tornado, but they are keeping sight of him with the Ion Shell. The counter ward laid out. They're going to be able to get Admiral Bulldog, and Loda can't get the return kill onto Miracle. He's just too tanky with all that quads.
And then TP away. And the Brood going down. Still, Tier 1 standing down here. Darkseer should be able to deny this. So, again, a big loss to Alliance.
Loda just kind of revealed himself. He walked through the wall just ever so barely and spawned an illusion. Darkseer, especially with this pause, will realize that Loda's behind him.
And he's got mech completed.
Yeah.
11-minute mech. He's got Mango.
Do you think that's enough to escape from this situation? Snowball, Ice Shards. You've got the medallion on Loda. He doesn't have Surge, and actually Death Pack's about to wear out. So I think Moon actually survives here, but we'll see. They're holding off on their damage for now. They do have the Jakiro coming in from the side. Moon gets off the vacuum, but he's stuck. Surge away, but no, that's not going to happen.
It was going to be close. It's one of those situations where you have to make the perfect decisions to actually like run south into the trees and try and TP out without using too much mana. But the fact is, mana pool was sitting about like 280.
Whoa, Fly, he's going to be pulled up, but with the mass rotations, there's nothing S4 can do about this. Maybe if he had a little bit more sticky napalm. In fact, now he's going to be caught. It looks like the EMP should be enough to finish off S4. And just in case, they had the Gyrocopter ultimate on top of it as well. 9-4. OG, they're just hunting down S4. Left, right, and center.
Where did Miracle come from? He suddenly appears at top rune spot like, hey, S4, what's up? Yeah, the fact that they've taken tier 1 top, now looking for the tier 1 mid. The Gyrocopter is sitting at level 8, close to level 9, and low to the fact that he's moved away from top. God, the tornado barely missing Loda there.
Yeah, they had, oh, never mind. They did have Dust if they really wanted to try and run down Loda, and he doesn't have Death Pact right now, so he's actually exceptionally squishy. S4 is going to come in, but what does the Bat Rider really offer you without that Blink Dagger in a full-on team fight? OG are just going to stick around this mech, why not? Take out the tier 4 tower, and they're actually going to play aggressive now. S4 trying to get into the trees. Oh, Winter's Curse, they're going to commit for him. The snowball and everything comes out. They actually are able to save S4 for a second, but the tornado will now finish him off. No, Jesus. They actually just finish him up so easily. Now the rest of the Alliance start backing themselves up. Loda chased away by that Gyrocopter ult. Alliance are just scrambling to get any sort of semblance of control. Admiral Bulldog doesn't even know what to do. Should he try and run into the middle lane? Doesn't seem like a winning scenario, but he can't just let OG run over these tier 2 towers.
This Invoker pick was so great, honestly. Even when the Bat Rider has Blink Dagger, you jump in, you lasso someone, you get tornadoed. There is no real way for Alliance to actually catch anyone. Is he going to kill Spidlings here with tornado? A couple.
Not quite.
Not all of them. There's just so much teamfight control and deterrent for Alliance to go and find pickoffs or targets. He's everywhere. He's running around controlling the map, so Gyro's not going to get touched. 2,000 gold on your Gyrocopter now, 13 minutes in, on top of Treads and Helm.
Yeah, and if you think about it, if OG are taking they're pushing out the mid lane, they're keeping control of the top lane, they're also invading your jungle constantly, where does the Clinks go? Because usually it's going into the enemy jungle, but a lot of that is being covered by Admiral Bulldog. You combine the fact that this Radiant mid-tier 1 tower is still up, and they still control some of these stacks over here. These two camps are very much still in Radiant control, and the Clinks would be in a really risky position if he wanted to go for that. So all around, I think OG game plan-wise have just figured the way of keeping S4 down and shutting out Lotus Farm as much as possible.
You hit the nail on the head at the end of the draft. OG have a very easy to execute lineup here where they basically run at you and throw their spells out. Yeah, as long as they can cast their spells and don't get picked off and don't have a hero too far forward, too far back to the Clinks or the Brood to actually try and zone out, the lanes went fine for them. Now 11-4, and Alliance, they've got 3 very niche heroes that do specific things. The Bat Rider blinks in, finds a target on his own, maybe tries to split push. Broodmother is, lane dominator into split push. He's taken tier 2 at bot, now into the Radiant jungle. But OG don't care. They really don't care about bottom lane.
Alliance just show themselves and immediately OG start backing up, then they figure, okay, no, we can actually turn around and go for a kill here. Miracle's going to be picked up, but there's already the Tombstone laid out. Vacuum also catching S4, trying to pull him back in. The Cold Snap is doing a lot of damage, but S4 will be able to get out. Meanwhile, they're going on no tail. Admiral Bulldog trying to commit, but that's just too much damage. He just gets blown up by the Rocket Barrage and the ultimate. Now Nuts is going to try and escape, but it looks like no tail, with the help of the Surge, is going to catch up. Nice block out there with the shards. That'll keep Nuts alive, but still, they lost Admiral Bulldog, and again, we'll be losing more and more control to OG. Looks like this tier 2 is going to fall.
I kind of find it interesting that No-Tail's rushing a BKB, though. Like, what do you think the reasoning behind this is? And I guess, like, Snowball's annoying, but
it may be one of those things where you feel like you're so far ahead.
It's a game-ending item.
Yeah, you just don't want to be dying, essentially, right? You can't afford to be, like, giving up the net worth advantage that you have. So at this point in time, with the amount of gold and experience he's ahead, one death could actually mean a lot for Alliance. So if you just secure that death isn't really possible with magic immunity, I mean, you look at Alliances, their damage is, like, very minimal. if you're able to take out the Clings. Tornado comes in. They're going to catch Ake. The snowball is going to be able to help Ake a little bit, but it looks like Nuts isn't going to make it out either. He's slowed down so tremendously by those zombies. Yet another pickup for OG.
See, if OG all group up as 5, Alliance can't find those individual targets to pick. They rely entirely on trying to outfarm and outlevel OG at this point. So they need Bulldog to just completely ramp up in the enemy jungle, push hard into the bot lane, and then Loader to actually be on the same lane as the Broodmother, like he is right now, looking for that one target that comes to defend. Wait, do they?
Oh, they actually caught Miracle.
Oh, wow.
Nice pickup. That's going to be way behind enemy lines. Meanwhile, the rest of OG will actually push down this tier 2 tower. If anything, they probably need Admiral Bulldog to immediately go bottom lane just to keep the pressure. Or maybe they're going to fight here. OG only just now taking the tier 2 as their damage is a bit lacking. But Alliance, they had the opportunity to come in from behind and fight OG, but that was probably going to be a bad idea through and through. So they just take advantage of the space that they're granted with the Invoker dead. Farm up some of the enemy jungle. S4. Good thing he's able to fly over cliffs. If he tried to go through the staircase area, that would have been quite the disaster for him.
Now this is where OG have to be a little more wary of what they're doing. Like, top lane is a good target in S4, but bottom lane is still tier 1 and tier 2 standing for them to take. It's also the place where Bulldog has been just sitting and split pushing. So at this point, I think you do have to switch from running at Alliance, because you've taken down all the outer towers in the other lanes, right?
Yeah.
Now you want to start looking at Roshan in the next 3 or 4 minutes. They're going to peek in there, see if Alliance is actually taking it themselves, but bottom lane, it's a key component of taking that Rosh pit. Get the tier 1 at the very least, but OG still sticking towards mid. They just don't want to get picked off by the Clinks. I think that's the thing. Like, Bat plus Clinks, they're very good at finding those individual targets to just jump and kill.
But in the meantime, they're creating potential openings for Alliance to win this game. That tier 3 tower is already down to half HP. They're going to go for the catch out here. The Eye Shard's blocking out. Oh, Winter's Curse laid on to S4, and the Cold Embrace will actually save the Darkseer. They'll turn onto the Winter Wyvern now. Looks like they should have enough damage, but never mind. The vacuum pull back in the wall. They're going to be able to finish this fight quite easily. Maybe not even lose a single hero. They lose the Darkseer towards the end, but it's going to be one pickup on the Tusk and a second one on Ake as he's trying to back himself out, but run down by Miracle quite easily. Looks like everyone else from Alliance was able to get out, but that was just not the fight they envisioned, especially since they picked off the Darkseer almost immediately to begin with. I mean, they grabbed him so separated from the rest of his team, but the Winter Wyvern able to save things pretty heavily there with the Winter's Curse as well as the Cold Embrace.
There we go. That's indicative of what they want to do next. Gem on the Wyvern. It's time to kill Brood a couple of times because he's got these pickoffs at the very ends of fights. He's sitting on 3,600 gold just waiting there in the bank. Did S4 just get himself away?
Yeah. A little bit closer. He would have had the Yule Scepter. He's actually going to go for Clinks next. Loda. He's going to start backing out. Looks like he should escape unless Miracle just throws out the right dust. He actually caught Loda, but Loda's sitting on the side here. Oh, he's hit by the Tornado. Miracle lands that one. He only needs a couple of shots with the Cold Snap leading. Loda's probably going to be die here. Bounce back. S4 clearing through that one tree. Loda's actually being bottled up. He's going to be able to stay alive. And Miracle is now just got to get the hell out of here because 2 versus 1, he cannot win this fight. Fortunately, with his mass movement speed, he should be okay with the TP out. Get back to safety.
If S4's blink came off cooldown, I don't know, a second and a half earlier, they chase that and they potentially find the kill. But still, Admiral Bulldog hiding away in his webs. Now a little bit scared of going into the enemy jungle. Did Winter Wyvern give that gem to Darkseer or who? Who has it?
I'm presuming you give it a Miracle now.
Oh yeah, Miracle has it, you're right. Time to hunt
mass
with a Ghost
movement
Walk.
speed, invisible hero, just running around finding the Broodmother, finding the Clinks. And they'll see some of Admiral Bulldog here. They saw Spiderlings. I think they caught a glimpse of the hero itself backing out over the river. The rest of OG are going to take the tier 1 though.
Yeah, it's time to take bottom lane. This does give breathing room to Alliance though. You look at where S4 and Loader are. They're actually farming up decently over in the jungle and top. So Loader's Desolator is going to... I say Desolator, it could still be a BKB for him with the magic damage output from OG being pretty high. But Deso's just going to give you that chance to win a team fight and demolish your hero in there. And a second Mithril Hammer, yeah.
is under
I think you
attack.
just focus down the gyrocopter, someone like that in a team fight, and try and get that one pick. They'll get a tier 1.
Radiant's top tower is
Up
under
at top.
attack. Dire's bottom
I wonder, do
tower is
OG
under
actually go back to defend this? Or do they just go cruising through to tier 2?
Radiant structures are
They're
fortified.
splitting.
Well, if you give up the tier 1 here, that's going to be the
Radiant's top
Desolator
tower
for
is
the
under
Clinks,
attack.
but does that really change that much for you? You still have clearly superior team fight. The worry is going to be, oh, nice vacuum.
Radiant's top
Ake's
tower
not going to be
is
caught by
under
that, but still. Anyway, the Desolator I don't think is going to provide you that much in team fight damage just because it's so easy for the Clinks to be blown up or the Cold Embrace to counter his single target focus.
Yeah, they rely on like the S4 blink, lasso, 4-staff back, and then
Yeah.
Lotus sitting there to take down that one target.
But I think the big danger of the Desolator is actually going to be the split pushing power. The Clinks is able to challenge you for certain trades, even if you are 3 or 4 heroes together. The Clinks could still output more building damage because of that Desolator, but I don't think OG particularly cared. They're getting to a point where
Radiant's middle tower
the
is
trade-off,
under
if
attack.
Clinks goes for a split push, they just
Dire's
ignore him
bottom
and take a
tower
tier
is
3.
under attack.
Oh, Bulldog's cutting waves, so they can't take tier 2.
Oh, good call. I didn't even notice that.
Being a cheeky little devil he is.
And Alliance will now smoke up
Radiant's middle tower is
in an
under attack.
attempt to, what they're presuming is that Loda is probably going to be ganked, right? If OG, they can't do anything here. They're constantly being cut, so they have to back out to the Broodmother or go gank the Clinks as he's splitting. S4 actually managed to catch one, gets the push over, and will be able to pop fly immediately. Now the jump back in, S4 playing a game of chicken with the rest of OG, daring
They're getting Bulldog.
to continue to move forward. Admiral Bulldog trying to get back into the trees.
They see him
Hasn't
with the
taken any
gem.
damage, so he can sit in the trees for now. Oh, Tornado misses. Miracle
Oh, God.
reveals a little bit. Moon doesn't have the vacuum just yet. Admiral Bulldog, oh, he gets spotted. The cold snap, now he can't get away. The BKB goes off, and now Loda comes in for the side. Miracle almost dies straight up to that one. Will be able to get away with the Glimmer Cape. Meanwhile, Admiral Bulldog keeps
He needs
himself
help.
alive thanks to that BKB and the lifesteal, but Loda's going to be caught now as the rest of
Oh,
OG
oh,
surrounding him.
force!
4-step out. He's going to be able to get out because of that one. Brilliant play from S4, and now he is going to try and
Kill the
jump
missile.
himself into the trees. Got a blink out. And where's that missile going? They've got to finish it up. Oh, Loda.
God, the
tornado!
tornado!
Miracle catches him, and Loda's going to die because of that. Miracle's just going to keep going with the help of No Tail. They're going to chase down Ake as well. Admiral Bulldog, the next hero in their sights, farther down, though. Looks like the Tush just barely managed to TP out. Admiral Bulldog is going to be caught eventually here. The Yules takes him, surround him. Will be able to pick up a third kill on that team fight. Alliance got greedy there. I think they felt like they had to take more than just that one hero pickoff on the Undying. And had to try and force a fight, and it was close too, the way the Miracle was dropping there when Clink started going onto him. It looked all right. Oh, caught. S4 tried to sneak up the side, is now Cold Snap held in by the Ion Shell. Nuts goes in and attempt to help save S4, but now he's going to be caught as well. And Alliance, desperation is definitely the word to describe their movements right now.
Dire's top
Because they were
tower
looking
is
at that
under
Invoker and thinking, right, we've got the BKB on the Broodmother. We can actually outlast the Winter's Curse. He's not going to die. Then we turn the fight around with the Clink's Deso shredding him. But the Glimmer Cape from Moon was something they just weren't expecting. The Glimmer onto Miracle meant that even without Ghost Walk, he was able to run himself back, then re-engage really, really well.
Right.
But Alliance, I don't know, it was that point where they felt they had the critical items they needed to win a team fight. It was just they were a little bit out of position. Like, imagine the Tusk and the Jakiro were 2 seconds earlier to that. They could potentially roll over OG and bring the game back into their own hands.
Since our Darkseer now going for a full-out Solar Crest, they don't have the greatest uphill potential in the world. I guess it's a little bit, normally I look at Gyrocopter as like, okay, he's not a very good uphill hero, but it's actually a bit better if the Invoker gives him Alacrity. Just because that big boost in physical damage will mean less time on the cliff.
But who's going Solar Crest?
Yeah, Solar Crest on the, I thought Darkseer. I saw a medallion pop up, but am I crazy? Did he sell it?
I didn't see it. He must have sold it.
Because they actually don't have a medallion on their team.
No.
So it would make sense because they still have enough control to be able to take Roshan. It's a little bit difficult with, obviously, the Broodmother constantly controlling the pit.
I don't think we're going to see Moon Meander's Bloodstone Desolator Darkseer this game, unfortunately. that was pretty fun. The Deso Seer.
Deso to wrap things up.
But I just think Blink is such a good value item on Darkseer, regardless of what stage of the game you're in. Having the ability to jump in, get that big vacuum curse. So now you've got a Glimmer Cape on the Wyvern as well, and oh god, Monkey. Monkey King Bar's done for no tail. With a DD rune. I think they have a smoke, they've got smoke on Undying, it's time to just go and run at them. DD, MKB, Vacuum, Wall, all the abilities they could possibly need to go and take this team fight now. And Bulldog is waiting in the Roche pit, scouting out, and could actually pop the smoke.
You know, it's
He's
really
lucky.
surprising. I mean, Loda is so scared constantly. Well, hold on. This smoke, fly, it's popped. Admiral Bulldog, he's spotted out by the ward there for a second. Unable to actually catch him just yet. Miracle's going to try and get to him in time, but gets over the cliff, skitters to safety into the trees.
Top tower is under attack.
And OG, they're not going to try and go on a hunting expedition. Looks like they're just going to try and push out the lane. They can't take Roshan, though. I mean, it's just too dangerous of a place to fight against Alliance.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Finally, Loda got that tier 1 tower, but it took him a while. And that's what I was going to say. Loda's playing this, like, so conservatively when he goes through these tower split pushes because he never knows if Miracle, when he's off map, is actually just goes walking into him and has the gem and easily controls.
Yeah, who's around the corner? Speaking of, the Wyvern TP's up the top, and this is when Alliance
S4!
engage.
He catches Miracle. They do have both the vacuum to help control him, and it looks like he was able to just stay ahead of the ice path. An awkward engagement there for Alliance as they weren't able to really get the control that they wanted. Snowball goes in. He's actually committing for Miracle, but his Cyclone actually saves his life. Now the extra bit of damage, but Miracle's still able to get out as it looks like the magic damage. Emerald Bulldog, one last right click. They finally get him, but boy, do they commit heavily.
So much.
4 different heroes for Miracle. I wouldn't be surprised if he's sitting there going,
S4's caught as
question
well.
mark?
Moon has found S4.
Oh no, forced out to the side. He's
There's
got
no
Firefly
TP.
coming up.
Moon just chases this. The rest of his team's coming in. There's no TP for S4, and they know
Blink, he's got to blink up in a second. Oh, actually
they
goes
saw
back the other direction. But they know. He's going to try and stay ahead of this Winter Wyvern who's got Winter's Curse. Blink Dagger, Force Staff coming up. Blink Dagger in 2 more seconds, but Moon's on top of him. Now it'll never happen. That's going to be the gem down. That's 5 heroes for Miracle. I don't care how much MMR you have. That is never going to be worth the trade.
Soul Rip, Stick Charges, Quas, everything to keep himself up and running, as well as the rest of his team helping out as well. And nothing really gained from Alliance apart from that 1 kill. Magic stuff. And Alliance, they just keep committing.
Dire's bottom tower.
Like in that situation, maybe, again, like you said, they try and poke and prod, find that opening and try and retreat. Because they've got pretty good heroes at playing these hit and run tactics, just get in, get out. But OG getting the better of them every single time.
Yeah, to be honest, at 25 minutes, having a 7,500 gold lead for OG, considering how well they were controlling this game, I was actually, you know, a bit surprised and thinking, okay, Alliance aren't actually as far behind as I thought they were. But now, after that kind of team fight, obviously the lead's going to extend over 10K quite dramatically. And just individual net worth, you can see the Gyrocopter is almost double the net worth of the Clinks.
Miracle is so done with being initiated on as well. He's buying a Lincoln Sphere. Screw you, Batrider. I've had enough of your stuff.
I mean, the Batrider really doesn't have a better target than at that point. You try and go for the Gyrocopter, but
Darkseer, I think, is probably the one you look for. But
Yeah.
even then, he's got Greaves. A plate mail is now done. So it's still going to be difficult to kill him off with the Clinks.
they might still be able to kill the Gyrocopter if they get him pre-BKB,
Yeah.
because he only has 1,200 HP.
Ice Path, Macro Pyre, just throw the whole kit and caboodle at him. Alliance are in no position to contest this Roche pit. Like, the only way they get in there is Bulldog goes for the steal, but Miracle joins the party. And they've got double gem, right? Fly has 1, and I'm pretty sure that Crit had the other. Maybe put it back in, yeah, he's put it back in the fountain. Alliance grouping up all at top. Aggressive ward down, looking for any TPs coming in to rotate onto Loda. But OG, do you defend this tier 2? It's free money. It looks like they will send back the Wyvern to try and stop this, but here's the jump.
Yeah, S4 managed to catch him. They're just going to blow up the Winter Wyvern, and are they
There
going
we
to
go.
continue for the tier 2? We know they should, just because the rest of OG are still hanging around the bottom lane.
Radiant's top tower
And it looks
is
like
under
Alliance will continue to push that out. See if they can get the tier 2 before being forced back by OG's No Tail. As he goes high ground. Miracle looking for Admiral Bulldog here. Tombstone laid out preemptively just to try and slow down Alliance if they want to challenge.
Alacrity on Gyro. What's the high ground defense plan here? They've used Lasso up at top. It's on cooldown for 40 seconds. There's no jump
Bulldog,
dash.
he's already on half HP. The lifesteal, he's trying to battle it out with No Tail, but he's got that MKB. Lifesteal's keeping him alive, though. The Desolator's going to work, and it looks like Loda will be able to help get that kill, but it's just the Aegis, and Admiral Bulldog still dies in the end. Miracle gets caught by the Ice Path. They're controlling No Tail still. Round 2, can Loda actually dish out enough damage to take out No Tail? Doesn't look like it. Too many heals. He's already back up to full HP.
And
Loda keeps on
back
going with that minus armor ticking away at him. But No Tail just decides that fight's over. They took the tier 3. No need to try and force this one out even further.
And Lasso's back up. I don't want to get caught by that one. They get the tier 3, get a couple of kills as well. Bulldog dying once again, and with the battle build on Brood, the Orchid into BKB, you need to be making more of an impact in these fights. But the trouble is, he's not able to build up like a big army of Spiderlings. He can't get the Spiderlings to run into a hero like the Wyvern because there's Thunder Capes, there's gems. OG just have perfect vision over everything that Alliance are trying to pull over them. So the way back into this, I think, is just going to be that sneaky smoke to try and find a hero in the back lines of OG. Wrap around, but it has to happen when OG push high ground. So otherwise, you're just going to be bashing your heads against a brick wall. Oh man. Satanic and Crimson Guard.
Admiral Bulldog's got to get out of here, and he's got to go fast. Almost caught by the vacuum. Miracle. Sonic Boom goes out. Cold Snap, and they just throw out the Winter's Curse. Still, though, there's support staff from S4. That actually keeps Admiral Bulldog alive. Still, though, OG. I guess with the Winter's Curse, they're not going to push uphill.
Okay, Loda, here's your chance. You need to buy a TP, though.
Yeah, I'm presuming he sells the Bastion.
Yeah.
In the side shop.
No reason
Smoke
not to.
up. S4. It actually blinks right onto Miracle. Force Staff gets over the cliff. We'll be okay from here.
That's fine. Firefly should come off cooldown before OG get up to high ground again. Bulldog's done a great job again down in bottom lane, just shoving that out.
Yeah, they're actually getting themselves a decent amount of space.
And again, they have to contend with Loda. Like, Loda's become a secondary broodmother. You need someone to deal with that bloody hero. I thought for a second maybe Moon Meander was the one.
Tornado just fishing for Admiral Bulldog and cleaning up some of those Spiderlings at the same time. If they could actually just get a Talisman of Evasion on No Tail at this point, it would mean a pretty large increase into his survivability. Seeing as the only hero he really has to worry about is the Broodmother and the Clinks. Like, their physical damage is what threatens him right now. But if he could offset that with the Evasion, and then even further with the Satanic, pretty much they're left with this prospect where they have to, like, one-shot No Tail, get the control from S4, chain stun him down, or they don't kill him at all.
Yeah, then they're put into a position where 3 of the cores in OG are close to unkillable. You know, they have to throw everything up to, into one of the cores, and they have to contend still with 2 of them left over.
Miracle. Is he going to go in the right direction here? No, he should kind of know with the creeps. But maybe, no, Miracle's got that gem. He sees Loda. Very awkward right now. S4 is going to TP back. Miracle's probably going to make the commitment soon. Especially, yeah, there's the TP. Winter Wyvern's coming in, and Alliance will start backing out, but you know Miracle's going to catch one. Eul's Scepter, Ice Wall, Nuts, Snowballs, in order to try and get out of it, but of course there's not much you can do about it. Still going to be caught. Cold Snap, and the kill goes to Darkseer.
Oh, he just got himself a Lotus Orb as well.
Yeah.
Bounce back Lasso, I guess.
Apparently does not bounce back Walrus Punch, which makes sense. No Tail, they know he's pretty much all alone in this bottom lane. They're going to try and slow him down. Of course, he's got the TP out. But S4's still going to catch him with the lasso. Looks like No Tail's going to be dying here. The homing missile actually hits Admiral Bulldog, slowing him down. But with 3 different heroes surrounding No Tail, they actually take him out, Satanic or not.
That is a
huge kill. 1,000 gold going to the Clinks just by itself.
Yeah, look what Jaro brought out. He got a quarterstaff. That's a component of Butterfly, but not the one you really want. Massive kill for them. Do you think Lotus Orb bounces back Walrus Punch when it's manually cast? Like, it makes sense that it doesn't when it's auto cast. For some reason, I've got it in my head that I've seen it before.
I would say that it's because it's not a missile of any kind.
Well, it bounces back Hex and Yules, though.
Yeah, but it wouldn't bounce back like Poison Sting, right? If you still manually queued up Poison Sting from Viper, it wouldn't bounce that back, right? Because it's an attack modifier in a way. Like if you look at Warcraft 3, Walrus Punch would be like an attack modifier essentially, right?
I'm gonna Google it.
All right. Is Miracle? What's he going here?
What's he picked up?
Is he's got a point booster? Is it Ags
Aghanims.
or is it Octarine?
Aghanims is super valuable, especially at this point when you've got full Wex and you need more points in the Exort. You want that sort of Deafening Meteor Blast, Meteor and Deafening Blast combo to start kicking in really soon because you want the damage. You've had the control, you've had the mana burn and things like that. Now you want the damage output from Miracle to really start pumping out.
And you get a little bit closer to that that 360 no scope Deafening Blast play. Nuts, I'm sorry, my friends, but you are going to be picked off once again. It just never ends for this guy. Walrus punched a zombie. Oh, S4. He's going to go look, see if Roshan's up, I guess, but not even potential spawn time is here yet. Not for another 30 seconds.
It's the kick that gets bounced, not Walrus Punch.
Oh,
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
That's weird. What's Loda doing in farm, by the way? He's got a Crystallis. I mean, that's still really feels like you have to go the MKB.
I would have thought a Hex even. They're definitely lacking in that sort of single target lockdown outside of the Batrider. Once that's on cooldown, you definitely have issues. Just keeping tabs on
Winter
someone.
Wyvern thought about going for the Winter's Curse there. But it just would have been a Jakiro kill. That's not worth enough by itself. And Roshan, very early Roshan at that. Spawning almost immediately once his potential respawn time started. So the Yag's about to be finished up. Anyway, the only reason I was thinking about Octarine is because he's got these items, such as Lincoln, that I thought decreasing the cooldown of that might be potentially worth something.
Yeah, and then the HP you get back from Tornado EMP. Definitely not negligible.
But he's got the Ags now. Just one more CS. It'll be
Is
good.
it done? Wow.
Yeah, he's got all the parts back in the courier.
And then he's got himself, like, double Forge Spirits is pretty good for when you're pushing up high ground, just as that additional spell to have. Obviously, he's not gone for the Exort build, so they're not going to be the super powerful Forge Spirits to push up. But still nice to have the double ones.
I'm presuming OG are just going to wait out there. Butterfly, go for Roshan, and then when they've got Aegis. Is this Aegis and Cheese, or is this
Just Aegis. No one took Roshan for a really long time.
Yeah.
It was just people dancing around the Roche pit. Smoke time again. Fly's got one. They're actually grouping up here, but
Probably don't need to smoke because they want to check Roshan first.
I'm gonna go
And
take
if
it.
Roshan's up, they might as well go for it.
Maybe Alacrity over on No Tail, yeah. Spiderling should scout this one out though.
It's
well,
still a good potential place for S4 to make an initiation. Miracle's probably ready to go with the well, no, they actually can throw the Winter's Curse out preemptively onto S4 before he even makes his jump. Now he's going to be comp pops the BKB, but No Tail's here. Starts right-clicking into S4, but he's going to be able to get himself over the trees to safety. OG swarm right back into the Roshan pit, where it's down to half HP. With the Tombstone and the wall still out, I don't think Alliance are going to go into this one, but we'll see. They didn't blow much in their attempt to stop Roshan being taken.
Just BKB for S4.
Gonna go for it now. Going down the side. Tornado gets laid out. S4 force-staffs himself to the side. Yule Scepter, he's gonna buy Miracle. A lot of times he actually dodges quite a bit. Nuts gonna hold him in place with the Walrus Punch. Why? Being chased down by Emerald Bulldog. Like, a good cold embrace actually keeps him alive. Meanwhile, No Tail gets the kill on S4. Nuts is also gonna be going down farther up. Emerald Bulldog chasing on to Miracle. Does get a lucky bash. Keeps on going for more. But Miracle, he's so damn fast. He will be able to get away. Emerald Bulldog has got nowhere to really hide now. Tries to put himself in the trees. Doesn't look like, because Miracle had the gem. They're going to be able to get this kill. Still, we got him on top of the cliff, too. Emerald Bulldog will go down, and it's only Loda left alive, as OG didn't lose anything there. Even Miracle already looking healthy enough with all that mass quas. And they've got an Aegis in their hands now for No Tail.
Again, they dogpile onto Miracle, but he's got Yule Scepter, he's got Quas, he's got the Ghost Walk at the end. Even after the lucky bash from Admiral Bulldog, still runs himself away. This guy is very difficult to kill, and we've been wondering for a long, long time. You know, when we saw Miracle playing a lot of anti-mage during the early stages of Monkey Business, people were focusing a lot on him. Then when he started playing Shadow Fiend mid, people started roaming 3 or 4 heroes to kill him mid. In teamfights now for Alliance, it just seems they're putting so much focus onto Miracle's Invoker and thinking, we can kill him, that they're kind of not realizing the strength of the other heroes. If they can catch Winter Wyvern before Curse, if they can get Fly or Moon before they get their spells out, they are equally good targets.
The offensive Force Staff actually takes S4. No, that was actually his own Force Staff, but that was just not the right area to go. Snowball goes on through, on top of the Jakiro ultimate, but that's not going to be enough to burn anybody out. Looks like even Fly's going to be able to stay alive thanks to his heal. OG keep on moving forward. Go from one lane of Rax to the next, as they'll probably head to middle lane. Aloda was trying to take a lane of Rax of his own, but Moon's actually going to put a stop to that one. Unless Aloda, I mean, he realizes there's no other play but continuing to go for that melee Rax, I think. Starts working at it. The backdoor protection still isn't there.
Top lane pushing in, though.
Oh, yeah.
He'll be able to get this. So Moon really tried to deny.
Yeah.
Nah. Losing double lane, though.
He'll have to back out. I mean,
triple?
With the melee racks down, oh yeah, OG just, they're gonna end this game now. Alliance not up for another 10 seconds on their Bat Rider. The TP back, Loda's just gonna be a bit too late. I mean, he doesn't have Death Pact, he doesn't have hardly any mana. He's gonna go for a Maelstrom, just any damage he can at this point in time. Ranged racks, melee racks is all that's left now as Alliance start going on to No Tail, trying to pop him, but Admiral Bulldog doesn't have the damage necessary. No Tail is just a big old G right in the middle of this O. And there it is, GG well played. Alliance know this has been over probably for a while, just tried to fight it out anyway. And they did buy it themselves a lot of time, but the thing is that OG were pretty much always in control, and we're just getting bigger and bigger over time.
You could definitely see the merits of Alliance's decision-making there, but again, we come back to the draft. It's been the sort of real talking point of OG and a lot of the top-tier teams. Even Alliance, we've seen them do very well in their drafting recently. It's just this one they felt backed into a corner. You know, they were like, oh, we need something for S4 mid. His heroes have been banned out. Go for the Bat Rider. Go for a comfort pick. The Clinks I thought was decent, but everything that OG had, the final pick Invoker, just dealt with Alliance so well. And once they grouped up as 5, pushing into top, into mid, not caring about Bulldog's Broodmother too much, who did they send back to deal with the Brood pushing into tier 3? A Winter Wyvern. Like, honestly, a support hero goes to deal with the Broodmother. You've got the rest of them just battling it out and forcing S4 and Loda to fight instead of farm.
Well, we both felt like Alliance were a little bit losers in the draft there, so maybe we'll see something different going into game number 2. We'll have a short break, and we'll be back with our last game of the night. A delay between our audio and our video. Of course, I'm Capitalist, joined by Durka. We make jokes because
We have no idea how to fix it,
We can't do
honestly.
anything else. What do you do? What do you do, guys?
We tried.
You just move on with your life. And
Well, by we, I mean Cap tried. He pressed a few buttons, and it didn't get any better, but it didn't get any worse. I think that's something to take from this experience. You didn't break stuff more than it was before, right?
I mean, our studio, our Studio One is very, very complicated. It's not like your normal studio setup
It's
that
not-
you
it's-
would see in Join Dota for like.
It's not the
the
regular
longest time.
2 PC production setup with a mixing desk. This has got
Yeah.
so many levers and buttons and
Uh,
dials and switches.
And like when our tech guy can't even figure out like the whole static problem that's been happening. Believe me, we've looked into it. We understand. But yeah, when we can't even figure that out, the tech guy can't even figure that out. Like, how am I supposed to fix things? You know, that's not my. I didn't get any training in this. Anyway, guys, hello, welcome to Game
back.
2, Alliance versus OG, and the draft is going by pretty quick because. Well, it's pretty obvious what Alliance are going to take when their first pick, when Doom is still on the pool, while OG respond with the Wisp Gyrocopter.
Not letting them get the Lich Doom, though. And I think that's a big component, especially after the Doom nerf.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, it's not a massive
10
nerf, but it's not
seconds
minuscule either. You know, one of the greatest strengths of Alliance with the Doom is not the fact that
5
he
seconds
out farms people from the offlane. It's not that
Radiant team
Doom Ultimate is such a great spell,
Mm-hmm.
but they play super aggressively with it. They're able to actually run into people from like level 2 or 3 with the Lich Frostblast and the Scorched Earth. They just run at you,
Mhm.
and then they limit your farm massively. That's like the biggest thing, is they stop your one-roll hero from
Right.
getting a massive out farm,
10
and then everything else
seconds
is just a
remaining.
domino effect. You then out-farm heavily with the Devour, and then you get into your
5
levels to go and
seconds
crush team
remaining.
fights.
I still feel like Doom is OP. Like I don't really.
On its
I
own.
feel like the nerfs were not
Alliances
enough
turn
to
to bear.
like Scorched Earth is still incredibly strong, right? And
Yeah.
that for me was the ability that made Doom. Like Doom itself, the ability is always going to be somewhat amazing, right? But the Scorched Earth is what actually gave him, you know, some prevalence in the laning phase and gives him enough sustain and
Radiant
everything
team
else,
back.
you know. So I don't know. I like Scorched Earth wasn't hit that hard. Doom is still like you can still build Doom in other ways, right? You could still go the Shiva's AC build. And instead of going the blank Ags or something like that, like you don't have to go Ags. So
10
That's the thing. How
seconds
often did we
remaining.
actually see Ags? Like,
yeah, it wasn't that often.
I don't think it was like
5
the build.
seconds
We
remaining.
even saw people experimenting with kind of treads drums, Sanjanyasha. I think Matumba Man did that a couple of
Reserve
times.
time.
Then it became the phase drums into like Vlad's Shiva's Guard. Ring of Bassi, such a great value item on him.
All right, so our bands, they're going to take away the S4 Bat Riders to start with, while Alliance take away some of the more aggressive heroes, such as the Undying. They're not going to let Fly get that one again. And ban away the Dazzle as well.
Fourth ban for OG. Like, what do you even look towards here? Okay. Okay, there's the AA takeout.
Radiant team pick.
Now, we've seen Miracle switch up a lot of the time with No-Tail, and they're great at doing this. I think OG is one of these teams that is very dynamic in their role attribution for their players. So Miracle can play the safe lane Gyro with a +1, you know, a Witch Doctor, a Rubik, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
While No-Tail now can actually look towards Sven, Chaos Knight, things that can pair up with the Wisp, if they even want to do that. You can still have the
10
Wisp Gyro,
seconds
a mainstay combo for quite some time right now.
5 seconds
That's-
remaining.
With Darkseer still out there, it's difficult to pass up on that.
Reserve time.
Winter Wyvern going to go the way of OG.
Alliance
There's
is
still the
time to
Darkseer in the
pick.
pool, which is a little bit concerning. When you already have the Gyrocopter, this AoE combination, I'm sure OG would be perfectly willing to pick it up again. Meanwhile, Alliance are actually going to get one of the better counters
Radiant
as
team
an
pick.
offlaner left against Doom. Slaughter, I feel like, is still one of the strongest heroes left when it comes to offlaners outside of Doom. And his incredible amount of minus armor takes advantage of the Doom's, you know, starting low armor. It works well with heroes like the Tusk. I feel like, in a way, this is actually a block pick. That maybe they felt like it wasn't
10
going to be the
seconds
Darkseer, but the
remaining.
Slaughter. That would have actually gone the way of OG. And this could mean that they're going to be running Doom as a one position. The other side of the table, though, is Tusk and Slaughter Or StarLadder support
Reserve
Tusk off lane,
time.
or maybe they're both supports, which would be weird. But
That's the Sven for no tail.
yeah.
Nice pick up there. The bonus armor you get against Slaughter is pretty damn good. I think the way to look at this for Alliance is that they very rarely, or they most commonly have certain heroes for certain players, right? I think Loader, Slaughter is one of his heroes definitely. For the past 2 years, he's played it on and off. But Doom for Bulldog is what you usually look at, and then Nuts on the Tusk. You know, those are the usual pickups for them. So then you can try and work out the roles from there on out. Because Alliance, they have been good with their dynamic drafting of late, you know, actually picking up different heroes, but switching up players onto those heroes is something that they're still lacking, I feel.
Yeah, that's true. So you think they're going to go back to like the Lotus Slaughter?
Yeah, and then have
then
Doom
keep-
off lane.
Okay.
Or they could run aggro actually here, Slaughter, Tusk, Bane.
Mm.
Because with OG potentially looking at dual lanes here, Winter Wyvern Wisp is a decent tri-lane with the Sven. You've got stun, slows, and the sort of steroid from the Wisp to chase people down.
10 seconds remaining.
But it's just the raw lockdown from Alliance right now.
What about dual lanes?
5
The Tusk kind of
seconds
roaming
remaining.
around the Bane, left with the Slaughter.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's a
Reserve
lot of
time.
different options. Alliance can run this so many different ways, and we won't really know until the last pickup. As OG, I mean, I like the Sven. I feel like it's one of the better counters when a Slaughter is going into the pool and you already have a decent amount of physical damage. So you're just able to kind of ramp that up, increases everyone armor with the Warcry. I mean, it offsets the level 1.
Again, I always
Level 1 amp.
I always find it troublesome when Alliance have left their final pick to be that S4 hero a lot of the time. Razor is the one hero that sort of stands out for me in this draft, you know, with amplified damage with the stuns they've got, and just being able to, you know, last in lane and get himself a decent amount of farm against whoever he's against, whether it be the Wisp Tiny or a final hero. But Lena, going to be the takeout there.
Alliances turn
Alliance,
to ban.
what do you think OG are looking for? The Dark, oh wow, yeah, of course, Darkseer
Yeah.
is still out there, yeah, no.
There's
No
no,
issues
way
banning
that that off would actually still be left in the pool if OG don't fourth pick it. So what offlaners do we have left? You've got
Like, you put Earthshaker into the maybe pile and say that's a consideration, but it's not going to be the hero you
Clockwork's
want.
not amazing here.
10
It's not great
seconds
versus
remaining.
Doom. Not amazing versus Tusk because you can snowball. It's
5
okay at
seconds
holding in the
remaining.
Slaughter, but it's still dangerous. The Phoenix is still out there as more team fight potential. You do
Reserve
have a
time.
decent amount of control around it, but I feel like the Phoenix is just not very good in this meta right now because you
Yeah.
oftentimes have a lot of physical damage and minus armor,
Unless you
and Phoenix has naturally low armor.
take the Wind Ranger as a block pick as well against Alliance, because Razor and Wind Ranger are going to be good for S4 here. But then again, it's fitting in, and Moon
seconds
likes to go for
remaining.
those either initiating heroes. He is the synergy player, right? He's the guy
5
that goes for your
seconds
Slaughters, the
remaining.
Blink Initiators. Oh,
Whoa!
hang on a second.
Okay, so some sort of dual lane
Alliances
scenario.
turn to pick.
Winter Wyvern Sven top and Wisp Gyro bottom?
What?
Or
So
is this off lane
this-
Sven?
Does this put Moon on the Sven then?
Yeah, I guess so, probably. And Alliance now have to think about what they're going to match up against the Invoker. You know, the only thing that's stuck in my head is like the Templar Assassin, but you want an Initiator. You want something that
10
actually
seconds
sets up
remaining.
the Doom and the Slaughter, I think.
I think Wind Ranger is your pick.
5 seconds remaining.
Okay, I could see that. I mean, for me, it's like just... No, I guess you don't have to
Reserve
have an
time.
Initiator. With Slaughter having the Blink Dagger, you've already have the Snowball.
And then potentially Winter's Curse or the Wisp relocate in, give you targets for the Shackle to be good.
Yeah, I like Wind Ranger a lot here. I think that's probably one of the best.
There's so much physical damage coming out of, you know, Sven and Gyro early on. There's a magic burst in the first sort of 10, 15 minutes, but again, it's one of those situations where you're trying to find that one pick that ticks all the boxes, and it's such a difficult prospect.
Yeah.
Miracle Invoker again. So yeah, it will be Moon Meander on the Sven.
So, what are our bets? Do you think it's going to be dual lane? Do you think Winter Wyvern actually goes mid the beginning and it's an off lane Sven to start with? Or do they run something aggro against the fact that Slardar, Tusk, Bane, you could probably beat out that lane just because you have good harassment with these three heroes?
I think
But then the matchup in the 1v1 wouldn't actually be favorable. Your Sven versus
Yeah.
Doom. So that can't be it.
that's the thing, there are so many options, but then every time you look at an option, there's a way for Alliance to
10
counter it.
seconds
It's going to be
remaining.
mind games initially, try and get that intel. to
5
deliver on your
seconds
laning
remaining.
stage. Like, there's one option that we haven't really looked at, which is the potential for Miracle to go safe lane and be an Exalt Invoker with Sunstrike, and then you go aggressive with maybe Wisp Gyro mid, and then Sven Wyvern off lane, something like that. And then you just try and throw Sunstrikes out, because then you've got stuns on all your lanes pretty much. Well, Arctic Burn, not really a massive stun. But it definitely slows them down to give them that Sunstrike potential.
Okay. Pause. Pause writes nuts. He's going to start out with boots first on the Tusk. So perhaps a little bit more roaming perspectives from him.
Where does Bulldog go, though? So it is loader on the StarLadder, definitely. Bulldog Doom.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of his... They were running StarLadder before.
Before it was cool.
Yeah, before it was... Very, very much before it was cool.
Yeah, he's
Back
the
when it was like, what? StarLadder?
StarLadder the hero. The brown boots blink Midas build. I mean, it was StarLadder he was playing when they found that bug with the turn rate of Blink Dagger, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Or the cast angle of it, or whatever it was. What are they up to? So Miracle mid, Sven Wyvern bot, and they will run Wisp and Gyro up at top. Interesting. Alliance are just running around scrambling, thinking, okay, where are they? Who are they putting where? They're already burning through a little bit of regen on S4.
Yeah, it took quite a lot of damage from Miracle.
30
Sitting on that
seconds
high
to
ground, No Tail is actually running by himself in the enemy jungle, trying to get some intel, because he knows there's pretty much no one who can actually challenge him. That rocket barrage. So they see the Admiral Bulldog is in the top lane. Do they rotate their lanes out, knowing that's going to be happening?
Yeah, do you want the Wyvern or the Gyro to be against? I think those are the two heroes you look against the Doom, right? Arctic
Right.
Burn or Rocket Barrage?
The battle begins.
I'm not sure.
Looks like they are going to choose to head down to bottom lane. Want to keep their matchup against Alliance, putting pressure on that StarLadder. I think that's pretty essential that you have to keep the StarLadder shut down early. If he doesn't get a good start in the laning phase, he's such a bad safe laner. Safe lane carry, he just doesn't do enough for you if he has a bad start.
And what creep can Bulldog get? What's the best creep you can get at level 1? Hellbear Smasher?
I don't know. Is it? I'm not sure if it is. For me, I usually look at it, defensively because I'm an offlane player. So I usually look at it going, okay, armor or regen, and I'm not sure which is actually better.
So I've seen a lot of people sort of past 5 minutes actually look for the healing troll as well. The mana regen's pretty good, plus the little heal you get.
Yeah, regen's actually so essential on Doom. That's why Ring of Bacillus is one of his first picked up items. Challenging the StarLadder. Gets a lot of damage on him in the process. Meanwhile, Bane actually choosing to go for the level 1 Enfeeble.
Miracle can die at mid.
Yeah, he's
S4
actually
can
going to play
also
aggressively
die
with a
also.
cold snap, though. S4 has the power shot left. It's not going to be enough damage, it looks like. In fact, Miracle does definitely dodge it.
Both of these players are very, very tight.
It reminds me of the old S4 versus Fada matchup, where those two would play so aggressively on Queen of Pain and Puck against each other.
Is S4 8K? I'm sure he hit it recently. The 8K versus 8K matchup.
16,000
MMR matchmaking points towards the
in
middle
this
lane.
middle lane. What a matchup to watch.
Fly is losing a lot of HP here. Rotations in from the Wisp as well
Radiant's
as the
middle
Gyro
tower
force him
is
back
under
though.
attack.
I mean, just think about it. That's S4 and Miracle combined are actually about 20 different Twitch memers. That's pretty insane. About 10 different Redditors.
So mean. Truthful, but but mean. So I was thinking that's like triple my MMR between these two players. Disgusting.
How's Notel been doing in CS? 6-0. against that constant spam out of Enfeeble. And he's actually got no more mana for Enfeeble. That's how much he spammed it out already. But it does have an effect. No-Tail seems to have missed a decent amount of CS. The fact that StarLadder's actually ahead of him, despite the very clear control of the lane going to the Gyrocopter. Middle lane, no, Miracle. Able to get away thanks to the Ghost Walk. But still, that's pressure applied.
I think that one of the big things is that Moon Meander's able to farm up on his top lane. Now, Bulldog with his Frost Armor and the Scorched Earth playing aggressively, but he doesn't know Fly's up here. The Winter Wyvern could come in when Scorched Earth is down.
My question is, does he eat the mango for the Devour?
When now?
Well, he was out of mana earlier, but now he's gonna be out of mana. If he just, never uses Scorched Earth, even then he's gonna be slowing down his Devours a bit. Alright, the Winter Wyvern's gonna come in now. They do have that ice armor still up on him, so it looks like Emerald Bulldog's gonna be fine easily because of it. Bottom lane, Loda. Left alone while Ake goes back to the fountain. Nice stun there. Get some damage onto No-Tail, but more importantly, picks up the CS he would have missed otherwise. And Miracle actually going to be charged up here with a snowball. If they could steal this rune away from him, get the haste rune. Oh, they've taken it. Now Miracle's going to be forced to Ghost Walk to survive, but they have the dust. He takes away that haste. That was a smart play, but it's still the power shot to be able to get the kill. Miracle. I mean, he recognized the fact that Tusk had the dust, so he didn't try and go invis because that just would have slowed him down even further.
Oh, they take him out of the game. Alliance doing pretty well in the early stages. The StarLadder are finding value down in this bottom lane. The Wisp Gyro yet to play aggressively into this, but now that No-Tail is getting closer to level 6, he just hit level 4 and forcing them back with the flat cannon, even though he's enfeebled up. Still annoying to actually deal with there.
Snowball in from the side. They're going to try and pick off the Wisp, and he knows they don't have Tether up, so this is a very easy kill. Loda actually challenging No-Tail a little bit, but he has dropped a bit low. And, well, let's see what he picks up here. Usually the safe lane StarLadder goes for treads. Occasionally you see Tranquil Boots on the offlane StarLadder, but I think he's just going to go back to base and probably pick up Magic Wands because it's a Wisp lane. It's usually essential. Nice TP out from Ake. Good read.
S4 is crushing this mid lane, though.
Moon may actually be dead here in the top lane. If Admiral Bulldog can run him down and get one more tick, the Magic Wand is actually going to be enough to keep Moon alive, but Admiral Bulldog is able to beat down the Sven, will die in the process underneath the tower, but still, he got the kill, brought himself up to level 6, and was able to buy out before he dies. Now the snowball into middle lane. Miracle already dropped low, gets off a beautiful tornado hitting on 2, but they've blown out the preempted dust to make sure he does in fact die. Nuts may get burned out, but no, looks like he's good. S4 claims yet another kill, and this time around, they're making sure to shut down Miracle nice and early before he gets that good mid-game Quaswex Invoker going.
Yeah, without phase boots, you've got the double blades of attack, so you're relying heavily on getting your last hits in early, and then into the phase to try and maybe move around a little bit as crit down the bottom.
Uh-oh. Okay, he's dropping low. Brain Sap going off in the last second. It looks like the Wiz is going to be going down. No-Tail still trying to chase down Ake, but realized that is going to be a fruitless attempt. And now with Loda, the sprint, not off cooldown. He's going to be slowed down soon by Fly. It looks like the EMP plus a Cold Snap is going to keep Loda at bay.
That power shot, though, very nearly killed No-Tail. But this has forced him off the bottom lane. Loda just walks back and says, right, thanks for the farm, I'll take that. Lovely little creeps. Oh, gee, they feel pressured here, definitely. Look at them, grouping up as 5 towards the middle lane. S4 is he's having a laugh at mid. 24 last hits. Again, the only thing to look at here really is Moon. The offlaner is kind of free farming, but he's free farming against the Doom. So the value there is that Doom is going to be beating him in net worth. Not by much, 300 at this point, but he's going to start scaling up pretty quickly. So I think for OG, they're just kind of biding their time, waiting for the levels to kick in. Get No-Tail level 6, relocate is definitely valuable from crit to move themselves around the map onto Miracle and onto Sven. Because these are two heroes, you add in the Winter Wyvern once Fly gets 6, but that's miles away. But Sven and Invoker are two heroes that are pretty decent at setting up for relocate ganks. EMP Tornado, Stormhammer, then chase with a Warcry. Who do they target though? S4 has Windrun, Bulldog has Scorched Earth, there's Loda with Sprint, Tusk has Snowball. Ake is like the only hero that they can reliably jump on and find kills on.
Now
Oh,
this
Miracle.
smoke is going to find Miracle. They do have Moon here with the response. They are able to get out the stun. Nice tornado actually stocks up Ake, and they're holding him in. With the EMP, they're able to stop him from being able to get off a brain sap. Beautiful turnaround from OG as they counted on Alliance to provide yet another gank onto Miracle. But this time around, the trap was set, and OG spring it quite nicely.
Moon Meander single-handedly bringing them back into this game. Level 6, almost 7 on the Sven. It's difficult though. Loda spots him out and runs him down. This does give a lot of breathing room, and this is, again, this is the point I made at the end of game number 1. There's so much emphasis put onto killing Miracle. So much emphasis in the draft on Miracle. We used to see people first banning anti-mage against him. And I just wonder if teams have got to start adapting to him being there by, not just by
Radiant's bottom
focusing
tower
down
is under
in the early stages.
Shackle shot missed out, but meanwhile, Nuts is going to be chased away by No-Tail with Warcry. No-Tail will be able to get in range of Nuts and get some damage out of the Rocket Barrage, but not sure this is going to be enough. Oh, nice
really?
snowball dodge there. They have another Rocket Barrage coming up. Meanwhile, S4 is going to be taken out. EMP double kill,
Walks
Miracle.
into it.
Fortunate happenstance as that Tusk just walks into the EMP trying to get away from the rest of OG and gives Miracle the kill.
So Moon Meander has transitioned into this roaming Sven. He's just running around saying, okay, if you're going to move from bottom to middle lane, I'll be that barrier. I'll be there ready and waiting for the Tusk to snowball in. And even with the dodge, the great dodge by Crit with the Nuts. I'm so used to Crit playing Tusk that it just rolls off the tongue. With Nuts dodging the Stormhammer there, still unable to make anything happen.
Now, once again, Alliance are in this position where they do have this free farming Bulldog. He's sitting at 3,600 net worth. The only one he's actually being beaten by is that Invoker. Just picked up the double kills, plus they got the tier 1 tower. That is going to be quite the silver lining for Alliance, that Admiral Bulldog is going to get a lot of farm quite early on. It looks like he's going for the very early Vlads, and is... I think he actually goes Vlads and drums here in this game.
I think he goes drum. Like, people usually go the sort of naked Basilius for lane sustain and mana regen. Then it's phase drums, then you decide where you want to go to next, because Blink could be valuable. You could still think about the Aghanim Scepter, but we've even seen people go for like the Shadow Blade, go for the S and Y. But I think Vlad's into Blink, then maybe a casual plate mail definitely going to be valuable here against OG.
I feel like the Vlad's isn't always necessary. I think sometimes Dooms build it, and in certain situations I feel like it's just not worth what it's giving you. But in this game, you're seeing a lot of physical damage. You don't even have that many nukes. The Sven, physical, Gyrocopter's obviously a mix, but even the Invoker as your mid actually provides a lot of physical damage with this Clock Swex build, as he's getting a lot of right clicks in with the phase boots drums that he tends to go for. So I feel like the armor is actually really valuable from Vlad's.
It's time. OG, they've hit their levels. Got cooldown up in 15 seconds. And Moon has 4 points in the Stormhammer. They've got stuns, they've got catch. And Loda doesn't have a lot of HP to work with if he does get caught out here.
Thing is about these smokes is that they are so valuable. Oh, Miracle actually picking the mid kill on the Bane, but it's up top lane where that smoke's going to come into play. Loda gets sprint, gets a pretty far distance, but not far enough away from that Gyrocopter ultimate. Nuts is actually going to bring him inside. The snowball goes to Moon, maybe not where they really wanted to go. Immediate stun follow up, and they're trying to get out of this one. The Splinter Blast heading out. They're going straight for the Wisp as Admiral Bulldog wants to be able to run him down. A stun goes out. Nuts, amplify damage on a Moon. Maybe Admiral Bulldog's going to turn onto that one. No-Tail is able to survive through that Doom and can turn things around. Miracle almost finishing off S4 from the back is now going to be snowballed up. Oh, what a shackle shot, but they have the cold embrace to be able to keep him alive, but No-Tail ends up going down instead. They get the Wisp as well off the back of the amplified damage. Ake is going to be falling here against Moon, though, and Alliance still looking perhaps for a little bit more. Ice Shards gets laying out there. Miracle, they still have all that amplified damage vision, but they're not going to try and fight it out any further. I think they're lucky to be alive in that scenario, especially since the Doom felt like it was kind of wasted on that Gyrocopter.
And No-Tail just backed up and said, fine, I'll run past your tower. I'll just walk myself out of here. But Miracle was one hit away from killing off S4 there. And if he got that kill, OG walk over them. Because the shackle shot doesn't come through, there's no power shot, there's no real damage output from them. Because Loda was so low on the HP. He was sprinting himself away. And you can see the sort of difficulty Loda's having here. Moving from bottom to top, and he's being chased around the map, really. He hasn't found any safe place to farm. His net worth is really straggling behind.
Wisp? Uh-oh. That wasn't really the tether that you wanted. Still, though, he's going to be fine. Most of Alliance still back on their side of the map. We've got the drums now complete. We'll see whether or not Doom wants to go for the Vlads and potential blink build that we're talking about earlier. But yeah, the smokes are so valuable here for OG. If they get like one good pickoff, thanks to the Sven-Wisp combination, they actually have amazingly good tower pushing capabilities. And same goes with taking Roshan. Between the amped up damage of God's Strength and then the increased attack speed, Sven becomes this extraordinary physical damage dealer in these growth period points of time.
The great thing is for Alliance as well is that if you doom the Invoker, what does he do? He right-clicks you, he runs away. He's got to be a little bit careful. Like if the triple cross is up for Invoker, then dooming him is going to be shutting him down in a team fight, but it's not going to be that kill factor or opening up any real damage onto him. OG were waiting for the levels and they got them with a good sort of defensive stance from Moon in the first 8-9 minutes or so. But now Alliance, they're the ones who are lacking on farm. They need their initial items. Still waiting for a blink on loader.
Yeah, and it's not very close either.
They have to go in with a snowball now, but who do they catch? OG are all actually hiding off the map at this point.
Yeah, they're just going to head into the jungle, hope to catch someone. They know that Gyrocopter Wisp has been farming that up a lot, but to see the Gyro mid, I guess they're hoping for rotations behind that tier 1 tower, but Moon, who was farming up the jungle.
This guy's blink. You're going to have a Sven blink. He's 5,100 net worth, and you add that into the Gyro catch, the Winter Wyverns hit level 6. You've got the makings of the perfect storm here for OG.
Yeah, he's well ahead of Loda. S4 is going to just focus fire down this tier 1 tower. Looks like OG are not going to challenge for it, as they're content with just taking the enemy jungle and pushing down the tier 2 right now.
Group up as 5, try and force OG into you.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Okay, Alliance have some pretty good displacement spells on them to stop these team fights just charging over them. If Arcade, like, a lot of this relies on Nuts and Arcade and their positioning. The snowball saves, we've seen a bunch of them this game already, and dodging out storm hammers and things like that. But I think Arcade with the Fiend's Grip, if he can catch the Wisp or the Wyvern, and it all comes down to, the relocate.
The relocate's going to come in with the Winter's Curse over the top. They're throwing everything they had to kill S4. And such an overwhelming attack from OG prompts no response from Alliance, as they know the moment S4 is dead, that was such heavy committal from OG that Alliance can't actually punish him for it.
And they all moved off the bot lane as well, so it's not as though they've got someone still falling down there. Bulldog, what's he picked up? Ogre Club. Is he going for BKB? It's a good value item, if not just against the Wex Invoker here. That Tornado EMP is really difficult to handle if you're just running at people with Scorched Earth.
Alliance do mount up, defending that tier 2 tower, but it's still OG controlling most of the map. Combine the fact that they've got 3 different farming cores, while Alliance, I mean, Loda's still kind of struggling in farm, so I'm not sure if you really want to call him a farming core. Like, he's going to get his Blink Dagger, but Sven's going to be, working his way towards BKB, Crystallis. Like, you're going to see a lot of mid to late game potential out of the Sven that you're not going to see the same out of StarLadder.
Yeah, for sure. That's a big question as well. What does Loda go after the Blink? Because we used to see him go for the Midas to keep him in contention for that exact reason. Because he's not a great flash farmer. He relies on kills a lot of the time.
Right.
If the game becomes stagnant and people stop fighting, where does he get that farm from?
Here's one hell of a kill. They've got the Fiend's Grip. Miracle, there's no response, not even a relocate. Moon actually coming in. Now the relocate, they're going to go straight for Ake. They will be able to get that quick kill, and S4 is actually running out of wind run. It's going to be kind of caught here, but no, the Doom actually getting laid onto the Sven. Meanwhile, they're controlling No-Tail enough. Looks like with the amplified damage, they'll easily be able to get that kill. No, the relocate! They actually got him out. Fly is now going to be the target from Admiral Bulldog as they've taken down the Sven on the right-hand side. And Alliance pick up 3 there, all in exchange for Ake. OG. I can't believe they actually went for that fight. I guess they really thought it was just going to be S4 and that Ake Bane. But now the Tusk shows up, StarLadder and Admiral Bulldog all filing in.
Bulldog just comes in from the side, like, not Sven, enough of this. No more nonsense. Now they reap the fruit of their labor. Get into the Roche pit. And Aegis, Up onto who do you put it on? S4 I feel is one of the better targets, just because she's so fragile.
Yeah.
But then Loda's the one jumping into the middle of the team fight. Looks like he's the one that's positing for it. Yeah.
So they're gonna try and get a little bit of extra life out of this Slaughter. And I could see, I mean, he's still so squishy, especially when he sprints up. He's blink daggers in. Now he can make a little bit more of a heavier commitment for his team to follow up.
But Miracle is now hitting that point we saw in last game. With the drums Yule's phase, he becomes very difficult to kill unless he's caught out like he was in the jungle. He's got so much mobility behind him and almost max Wex. No BKBs just yet for Alliance. I think Bulldog is going to be going for that one. 1600 gold saved up on top of Ogre Club. Just want to make sure you don't lose any of that. But No Tail, this Jaro this time around, not having the amazing game he did previously. You know, the kill score already indicates that one. Alliance have done a very good job in controlling all of their lanes and not rushing the BKB. Phase drums Aquila now back into the helm. So No Tail, it looks like a little more content just to tank himself up. Again, armor from the Helm of the Dominator. Even though people don't really think about it a lot, you know, Helm of the Dominator's thought, right, lifesteal, going to Satanic is great. As Tusk, nuts. No dodge, but he's going to be going straight into the enemy.
Well, the rest of his team is coming in. If they get a really good Winter's Curse, though, OG can still turn this one around until the Doom gets laid out. Fly's definitely dead here. Loda makes sure that is definitely going to be top priority. Rest of OG get a lot of damage out from those spirits. Crit rounds out another one. And No Tail is immediately going to be the target here. They're going to be able to surround him pretty quick, and I'm not sure if this is really in play. It looks like Crit's going to try and save him, but no, the relocate got canceled, and now he's going to be dying as well. And it looks like they've even caught Miracle. The Beam's Grip gets laid out, the stun follow-up, and that's going to be 4 down. Alliance surging up big time as they manage to turn a catch of 1 into the 4 other heroes. How does that even happen, though? OG, they should have just been able to give up the Winter Wyvern. Why did they turn?
They realized that with the sprint, Windrunner, Scorched Earth, and the Snowball, there are so many chasing mechanisms here. You know, you add in the Blink from Loda. But what do you have to escape as OG? You've got Relocate and Ghost Walk. The Sven was nowhere near. His TP was on cooldown, I believe. He didn't actually jump himself up onto that top lane. Looks like Moon Meander.
I believe that was Level Death that canceled the relocate, right?
I didn't see. I was watching.
I mean, it was a decent plan in that, like, okay, the Doom draws distraction on the left-hand side, and then the Wisp goes relocates him out, and then they're actually in a pretty decent position after that. Maybe they even save everybody. No Tail gonna be target once again. They have the amplified damage leading with the stun first. The follow-up. Crit comes in with an extra bit of tether heal, but that's not nearly gonna be enough, and now he's gonna be the next target. Slept up, amplified damage. Burst him down as well. Winter's Curse laid out. Fly, what are you really going to do here all by yourself? That's just going to be a blown ultimate for nothing. And Fly only just barely managing to escape there. If he didn't go over the cliff, he would have died. Miracle's left with this awkward position where he wants to go and fight with this kind of build. Phase boots, drums, Yules. But his team is just getting picked off so often. They can't really get a grip on this game.
And with the amp damage there, he's such a great target for Alliance just to jump on as well. He can't use that Ghost Walk like he did previously to run himself in and out of team fights. Loda's been pretty on point with that. And it looks like he's going into a BKB on the Slardar as well as Bulldog finishing his up.
Yeah, he's made quite the recovery. I was looking at the Sven going, okay, the Sven's going to be ahead of you net worth almost constantly.
Nope.
But that's no longer the case. Loda actually now contesting him a bit. Gonna go for the BKB, same as the Sven. No Tail still has some stacks to farm, and that will help him catch up to some of the heroes that have surpassed him in net worth recently. And that's something, unfortunately, Alliance can't really contest very well.
How well are they going to be doing at taking down towers, though? With the Axe on S4, I guess that gives them a pretty good increase in damage onto these tier 2s. But tier 1 mid is still there, open and ready for the taking. It's scary walking into things like cooldown in that closed environment, though, for Alliance. If they do want to take down some more towers and, you know, encroach onto the enemy side of the map, I think it's going to take a smoke forward because they see they see Nuts there.
Yeah, Nuts is dead.
You see Arca
Snowball of
well.
Doom. He actually gets a lot of damage on the Wisp. He goes for the punch onto him, but not going to get there in time. But they are buying enough space for Loda to finish up his BKB. And then at that point, they'll definitely fight. Unfortunately, it's not going to be around the Aegis, which is a little bit peculiar. It feels like they could have just forced a fight with the Aegis and gotten the BKB off of a good team fight. But instead, they just let it expire in exchange for that Magic immunity.
Oh,
Admiral Bulldog, wrong time, wrong place, or right time. Perhaps wrong use of item there. Pops the BKB, and you can understand.
Better safe than sorry?
Yeah, exactly.
I guess. Because Moon with a blink jump stun. Tornado EMP is difficult to handle. But they didn't see him there. Does Doom have greater night vision than these guys?
I don't know.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Or maybe they, like...
weren't looking?
Yeah,
they were like
maybe
so focused on that medium camp. Right, guys? Let's go this direction. Well, either way, Bulldog gets out.
Oh, man, they're going to have a Glimmer Cape pretty soon on the Bane. That's actually going to be such a good saving mechanism.
And Mech on the Tusk. He's 800 off that. So they've got the sustain and utility on their supports, which can't be said for the Radiant side. Crit and Fly, both
Radiant's bottom tower is under
a little bit
attack.
poor.
Another tier 2 being threatened. S4 starts chipping it down with the Focus Fire. He's got Ake behind him with this beautiful Shadow Amulet set up. Not too many
Radiant's
times you're going to hear
bottom
that
tower
set.
is under attack.
He'll start backing out, though. It doesn't look like anyone from OG is going to... I don't know. I kind of feel like eventually someone is going to show up if S4 continues to just beat on that tier 2, or they just fully back up.
Radiant's
I think they're super worried about fighting into the BKBs.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
OG.
You mean OG?
Yeah. Like giving a tier 2 is a
Radiant's
valid
bottom tower has fallen.
kind of freebie to give Alliance right now if they're going to take tier 2 up at top and take control of the enemy jungle. Like they're not just losing the tier 2 for nothing.
Dire's structures
They give it to
are
them,
fortified.
but they take something in exchange.
Well, Immediate Alliance should be looking at that tier
Dire's
1
top
mid.
tower has fallen.
They obviously can't get to top in time. That's already been taken out, so they're just going to 5-man through mid, take away that tier 1 tower, and that actually takes away so much of the limited Radiant control of the Roshan. That Roshan pit, they've got nothing to TP to it. So if Alliance can manage to, like, even just 5-man push top and force rotations, if they force rotations and back out successfully, that's almost like a guaranteed Roshan, just because they've got such good team for doing Roshan between Focus Fire and Amp Damage, and there's no TPs for OG that are potential. Fly's just going to get first down. Loda found that quick pick off with the Blink Dagger. And OG, I think they're looking at perhaps fighting around this tier 2 tower if they have the Winter Wyvern alive. They could just Winter's Curse relocate in.
Oh,
S4? No, he's out.
Quick
He's
on
not
their
going to be
feet.
hit by that one at all.
They're coming in around from the side though.
Yeah,
Loda's
this is
right
dangerous.
here.
Loda's going to start setting up there.
Oh.
Gets oh, what?
Hey!
Loda was on point with that one. If he
See ya.
was half a second faster or just a little bit closer, he stops that relocate. And that's actually,
2 of them.
yeah, that's both of them. There's no way I think Gyro gets out.
The hits and crits from Bulldog.
Oh, I can't believe Loda didn't score that one.
Unfortunate. And this series is super important for Alliance, honestly. Like, the Group A in this Phase 2 group stage, Alliance are currently 7-1, Monkey Business 6-0. So being able to go 8-2 in this group pretty much keeps you up there in top 2.
Yeah.
Like, there's still a couple of teams that can, you know, pop their heads up and say, hey, Monkey Business, we're going to get into that second spot.
It's pretty much
But
VP. Pretty much VP is the best team to go for. Miracle's going to be caught here. The BKB activated. There's nothing really to stop this one. The Amplify damage. Yule Scepter, Winter Wyvern, Curse getting laid out. And Miracle actually does get away until the Doom's laid out on him. The best Admiral Bulldog can hope for now is to snag that kill ahead of the deny, but he's being held up by No Tail. Looks like that missile's going to put a stop to him. And no, the Wisp actually keeps him alive. Meanwhile, the Sven does go down. Miracle's going to be able to survive, and Alliance take a quick peek into the Roshan pit. The big boy's not up just yet.
that's a fight where Tusk doesn't even use Mech.
Oh, okay. Tornado
He's
hits
fine.
him. Shackle shot. Yule Scepter just in case, making sure that one doesn't land. The Force Staff follow up. They're going to try and pop Miracle with the amplified damage. They catch him out.
Oh, he's
Looks
dead?
like the Focus Fire is enough damage easily. Now Fly comes forward. Doesn't actually have a Winter's Curse. Not sure what his plan is here. But
If that
OG,
Shackle hits Gyro.
yeah, they're just going to be losing a number of heroes. In fact, Loda's going to look for more. They want to try and catch No Tail. Loda Blink Dagger up, 5 seconds. He's got the amp damage.
They
Looks like
died.
No-Tail's going to be dying as well.
Oh, now they're backing up. They're going
Go
back in.
for it. Blink in.
Loda.
Loda. Now
There
hits
we
the
go.
blink. They commit for the kill. They get a big critical out of Admiral Bulldog as well.
full
And on the
life.
side, Wiss ends up going down. Monkey Business, a.k.a. OG. They've just been wiped.
And Roshan's about to spawn.
Beautiful timing for Alliance here. Potentially forcing this
Radiant's
two-game
middle
series
tower
into
is under
a
attack.
tie. Securing themselves a great slot in the defense. They're going to back up. Sigil going to reveal Roshan here in a second. They know it has to spawn quite soon. And that's going to be a free Aegis for OG, most likely. Unless OG just start,
Radiant's
you know,
middle tower
Unless-
mass swarming into... It's not even possible.
Like, you can't even relocate the gyro in there to try and steal it or anything.
Yeah.
the down.
There's no way. This time they go to S4. The fragile-ish Wind Ranger, even though she has BKB.
I was about to say, Fragile is
1800 HP.
relative at this point. Normally you look at a Wind Ranger and she's like such a glass cannon, but the way S4 built this one,
Yeah, no blink, no crit, no maelstrom.
yeah.
I guess with amp damage, you're fine.
Yeah, you really don't need an increase of damage as long as you're not getting stunned. That's a good point. And he's not the only damage dealer either. And let's not forget they also have the Alpha Pack Leader's Aura. So it's actually insane how much damage the Wind Ranger can put out without a single damage item.
Do they have a gem yet on Alliance? They're just running around with sentries, right? I think it's
Yeah.
at that stage of the game now where you're ahead. You have Aegis. You've got some lead over OG. It's time to start limiting the wards. Get rid of the vision of them. But I think more importantly, you keep vision over the people that are going to start building into Glimmer Capes. The Wisp, the Winter Wyvern, and then there's the Ghost Fork from Miracle. Once you have that gem up, you just have this overruling power. And they're even...
Radiant's
Oh,
middle
Miracle.
tower is under
Loda
attack.
was trying to come in from the back.
Radiant structures.
Fortunately,
are
they're not going to
fortified.
be able to get that catch. Meanwhile, No-Tail and Crit just trying to do their best Tiny Wisp impersonation right now.
Dire's
Split pushing
top
out that
tower
top
is
lane,
under
hoping to be able to
attack.
force Alliance back, but obviously the Gyrocopter can't really provide the same kind of pressure on the towers. Alliance are still going to oblige, though. They're not going to try and push uphill with the Aegis just yet.
They're all TPing back. Got to defend.
MKB completed on the Gyrocopter. So that'll really help against the Wind Ranger, but she's still tanky as all hell. And it's not even like the Gyrocopter, you can't out-damage the Wind Ranger just because you have MKB.
Yeah, that focus fire makes it really hard. And then there's still things like Fiend's Grip coming in from the side, with Bane having 2,200 gold here. What do you reckon? Like Blink
Yeah.
Dagger, Force Staff?
I think with the Glimmer Cape, you're probably relying on that in a way. So if you get yourself a good Glimmer, Blink in Fiend's Grip, you're probably unlikely to be stopped, at least not fast enough.
What about
Admiral
things
Bulldog's
like
dead. Gets off the BKB ahead of the Winter's Curse, but it doesn't matter. There's so much physical damage out of these heroes. He's gonna try and get away with the phase boots. Don't
he-
tell me. Oh my god, the stun comes in for Loda, but Doom still dies. Looks like Kurt's gonna be taken out by that power chop, and they're making a full committal here with the Doom still on No-Tail. They've got that kill with the Fiend's Grip. Long range from Ake. Miracle's gonna be caught as well, and Alliance will gladly make that trade. Bulldog with the quick fingers getting off the BKB results in him surviving long enough that Alliance win the fight quite handily.
pre-nerf Doom would have survived that. Bro.
He probably would have too.
Honestly, with drums,
He really would have.
drums magic stick, Bulldog very, very nearly escaped there. As the final projectiles coming out of Invoker that managed to take him down. Like, holy crap, Scorched Earth. That's an ability in the Dota 2 video game. What a freaking skill.
And now S4 is going to head up
Radiant's
to
top
the
tower
tier
is
2
under
with the
attack.
top lane. Take that one out with the help of Nuts. Will gladly tank it for his lovely redhead.
It was all a trap, though. Loda, he's been a beast on this ladder, honestly. He's,
Yeah, he really has.
He's 3-0 and 12 cap. I didn't even realize he hadn't died yet. Like he had-
What?
yeah, exactly. right?
Loda?
He had a decent time.
legend.
Like the first 3 minutes was like, yeah, Loda's doing pretty well. He's going okay. He's trading farm here. Then 3 to 7 minutes was like, where does Loda go? He's got nowhere to farm. And all of a sudden, you look at him, and 30 minutes in, hang on a second, he's a monster.
Go you, Loda.
Literally has monster.
And here
in
I
his
was
name.
like, oh, Sven.
yeah, oh, Sven's gonna outfarm him.
Nope. Not even. He's gonna have an AC soon.
The Rogue Knight is a peasant.
Yeah, he really is. Well, he's not too much of a peasant. He's got 2,500 gold right now. He's living an all right life. He could still make that full transition into beast mode, Sven. With the Wisp, like at a certain point in time.
AC on Sven? Yeah, he's got Hyperstone.
Yeah.
I guess Miracle's going for a Hex here. Not the Lincolns this time.
All right, smoke time. Smoke with just
Under the
3
ward. Oh,
or just 2. You. The funny thing is, between Ghost Walk and then the fact that the Gyrocopter Wisps don't obviously smoke because they have relocate, your smokes are only for like Winter Wyvern and Sven at most.
There's the gem on Akko I was waiting for. So he did go for the blink and then into the gem.
Might as well take some control.
We don't even have the glimmers on the 2 supports on the Radiant though. This is just going to be for deboarding missions. Oh, here's a smoke on 4. So OG are pushing out.
So they will have the relocate. This is one of the big things, I think. They have the relocate for defensive maneuvers. And that's pretty important. I don't think they're... When you're far enough behind like this, you can't just be like, oh, we'll just relocate in. Right? Because you kind of need that ability to actually save somebody from the Doom. Or the quick targeting of focus fire, something like that.
They're just sitting and waiting. Alliance, they're not going to get caught here. What vision do we have left? These 2 wards up on the north side of the map from OG, they're not going to last too long. They're not going to see anything either. Oh, they know where Miracle is. S4, can you solo kill this with a crit?
Yeah,
Shackle?
because this...
No.
That was definitely not... Oh, S4? Hold up, Moon. I don't think that was the targeting, my friend. He's going to be blocked out. Nice setup by Nuts. Nice shard. Actually catching Moon. Moon apparently thinking that was potentially a solo S4.
Not a chance.
Not
And
on your Nelly.
that's a Sven who just bought Hyperstone. Popped his BKB, has no God Strength,
Whoa!
has no buyback either.
S4 almost catching Miracle there with an aggressive blink forward into the base.
Is this a lane of Rax?
Maybe. They do have the push out from No Tail and Crit. Trying to force Alliance back desperately, but
Dire's top tower is
S4
under attack.
is taking that tier 3 so damn fast. Still, though, looks like it's going to be a tier 3 for tier 3 to start things off. Jesus, Loda! He just takes out the Winter Wyvern so quickly, and Miracle quickly follows. The tier 3 is down at the top lane. The reinitiation now as OG come back in with Miracle. Shackle Shot not quite latching. They do have Loda leading the way here at the top lane, trying to put a stop to that Gyrocopter Wisp. And looks like it is successful. Tier 3 for tier 3, but they force some buybacks out of OG. Or at least one of them. Oh no, that was 2. Winter Wyvern and the Invoker both bought back, huh?
That's pretty big. Sven respawns though, so not really worth fighting into this for Alliance. I think you just wait for the next Roshan here. Give that over to S4 again, because he's got full Daedalus done. Holy crap! And buyback. That's like the perfect win ranger right there. Ags, BKB, Daedalus, 36 minutes in, and buyback available.
Watch Gyrocopter just melt. Like, what's the point of going BKB at this point? I don't think you go BKB now on the Gyrocopter. I think you have to go at least a Talisman. I mean, that's very clearly not going to be enough. The Wind Ranger is still going to get, you know, one of those crits, and there goes a third of your life or something, but...
Because there's no one to go Medallion or anything.
Yeah.
Like, Wisp can't, he just bought Glimmer Cape. The Winter Wyvern is poor as hell. I think you're right.
And I mean, he's still going to go with the BKB. He's able to finish up right now, but... We'll see if that works out for him.
Doom is huge at this point.
He gets targeted by the amp damage and focus fire. He's just going to disappear, BKB or no.
They've ramped up their chasing power even more because Bulldog just finished off his Shiva's Guard.
You know, I kind of felt like, oh my god! Roshan, no!
Sorry, what? I looked... Bloody hell.
Amp damage, level 3, focus fire with the Daedalus.
That's cheese as well, right? That's the third one.
Yeah.
Yeah, loaded with the cheese.
It was AC as well. Roshan's not having any more kids for a while, that's for sure. Is that Miracle? Is he going a Scythe of Ice right now? Looks like it. Or is he going Lincoln's again? Is that? Yeah, I guess against Doom. Yeah, Lincoln's again.
Who,
That's
Miracle?
probably the play.
Miracle's got the Hex done.
Oh, he is
Has
going
been
for the side.
killed.
Okay. All I saw was the Void Stone at first.
He would have
He
the Hex
would. Loda.
if the courier hadn't
Loda
just
is-
died.
He's coming back with a
I
vengeance,
think
man.
that's game winning.
I think so too. I mean, even just that plate mail is going to be worth so much.
See, Miracle had been holding on for so long. He had Ultimate Orb and Perseverance, and the Void Stone, and he's just waiting for that money to come in. I guess he knew he didn't have buyback for this one either, so he just went for that one big item. But with the Melarax gone, and Alliance pushing in bot and mid, it's going to be a difficult hold here. Let's see, Fly, it's onto you. Level 2 Winter's Curse.
Tornado EMP getting laid out. Warcry spent there a little preemptively. Loda trying to get a quick amp damage. Does buy space for S4 to finish up this range Rax, and Alliance will back up.
Radiant's middle barracks is fallen.
One lane of Rax ahead of OG.
And OG can't chase. They've got no vision outside of their base. They have no idea what Alliance are doing, where they're going. They can kind of assume that.
And no buybacks without also the items that you invested in to
Yep.
kill those buybacks. It's just not a good scenario for you to
It
force
is
fights right now.
Time to sit in your base and spam spells. Tornadoes,
Alliance just
Splinter
keep
Blast.
going, right? Knowing that they picked off the courier and it's still down for what? Like it's probably another minute and a half.
They've all got BKB still, Cap.
Yeah, just keep going. Push out the bottom lane, which is already looking pretty good. They've got Shivas on Admiral Bulldog
Level
with another
3
2K.
Doom. And you've got Force, Blink, Mech, Snowball on your Tusk.
Okay, so how does OG actually initiate? Because we've seen the way that S4's and the rest of Alliance are going to set this up. S4's on the front. You've got Loda occasionally blinking in, looking for the initiation, perhaps an amp damage. And then there's the rest of Alliance are very, sitting very far back,
Yeah.
waiting it out. How do you initiate onto S4?
That's the thing. I wonder if it even is the Winter's Curse initiation, or if Moon has to go in and bait spells out. Like, does anyone from Radiant have buyback? No, no one does.
Oh, wow.
Like, that's the one thing I'd look for is, have that sacrificial lamb. The one hero that goes in, dies, buys back, and that's what gives them the initiation they need.
Right.
But you don't have that one hero to jump in because you don't have any buybacks. And you can't give up the Wisp because he's such an integral part of your team fight, keeping the Gyro and Sven alive and pumping out damage.
S4?
And you should pop the Aegis here. Or maybe not. S4 wants to give it up. No.
Okay.
Life steal from the Vlads. Okay.
Not
When
sure if
does
he's
it-
really going to be able to go back with 200 HP and get anything done. So sure enough, Sven throws out another stun. Are they going to try and take advantage of the S4? No.
Not a
Just
chance.
not far enough. Not far enough ahead for them to take advantage of that positioning. Spamming out their Splinter Blast. Tier 3 tower is going to go down, and they
That's the
can't
cliff.
afford to give up a second lane of Rax.
Like, mid is
Okay.
being pushed in.
Now
by
they have the
creeps.
courier. They had that site device.
Barracks are under
You have to fight now. If Alliance try and push up again and finish off that tier 3 tower, you go for it.
Who do you hex though? Who's your target?
Nuts. He's actually the one to blink forward and take out that tower. And now the
Hello?
reinitiation load actually goes in. They already get out the ultimate onto Miracle. That's going to take him out of the fight completely. Winter Wyvern's gone. No chance for a good Winter's Curse. Moon's going to be held in by the Fiend's Grip as well. No Tail chased away by Loda, who's actually got to blink up in a second. Oh, good bash. And that'll be easily enough to finish
That's
off
it.
the game as OG call it for game number 2. It ends in a tie. Alliance, who are sitting top of the group right now thanks to their score of 7-1.
So that's their last series. Alliance are now sitting 8-2, and that's it. Monkey Business now at 7-1. They've got one series left to play, and then it's VP, like you said. They've played 6 out of their 10 games, so they've got two game series left to go, and they could potentially, if they go 4-0, right? They go 8-2. They take second spot, maybe.
Right. It all just comes down to some potential tiebreakers.
Yep.
Monkey Business can still take that top slot if they go flawless from here on out. But showing that OG